In this episode, yoga to start your day.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 235 of the Daily Mother Swole. You're a little bit further away because I felt like before there's too much gains, like up in there. And I apologize if I'm draining your battery because your phone is struggling to encapsulate the mass on your screen. I tend to kill batteries. It's been proven. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about episode 235. Let me tell you something right now about yoga to start your day. So take the chance right now. Those of you that are live on Facebook, share this broadcast. Thank you so much for all the support. Welcome to the second day after Christmas, ramping up into New Year's. It's Tuesday. It is episode 235. And those of you that are watching on YouTube or listening on SoundCloud or iTunes, the podcast, this is episode 235. And for some reason, this number just feels right to talk about yoga. Again, I want to touch base on a couple of topics about yoga that we didn't really discuss in the past. I've talked on the yoga front. I've discussed how yoga is a great corrective exercise. I've discussed how it's great for mental clarity. I've discussed how it's great for balancing out compensations of the body, stretching tight muscles while it strengthens weaker muscles. We've talked about the hips, we've talked about the shoulders, we've talked about different aspects of yoga variously through the past 235 episodes. We haven't necessarily talked so much about yoga and what time of day to do yoga. I've said it doesn't matter what time of day you do yoga, and that's the damn truth. It really doesn't matter when you do yoga. But yoga specifically to start your day, and I'll give you a couple pointers why or some insights because I personally like yoga earlier in the day when possible. Now, usually I'm not a morning person because I burn the candle at both ends. I'm up very late doing editing and doing work, and I'm more creative and more functioning at night in terms of when I do my artistic work with the brand or I do my video editing. It's very easy for me naturally to stay awake. Some people need to drink tons of caffeine. They're drained the whole next day. I work very well on adrenaline. I can stay awake if I just will it. I just don't go to bed. I want to stay up. I just stay up. Some people are really struggling. They'll pull and they'll drag ass. They'll suck down cups of coffee, drink Red Bulls. I just stay awake. I could just do it. So it's not so much that I have trouble sleeping. So when I talk to people, I'm like, oh, I have trouble sleeping. It's not trouble going to bed. I mean, in the sense that if I lay down, I'll go to sleep. It's just actually shutting down and putting myself to bed because I just want to keep on doing work and my mind's running and racing and thinking about what I could do next or checking analytics or doing all these things with Swolenormous. So yoga has always been a great way for me to start my day, and that motivates me to get to sleep earlier because I want to get up and start the day with yoga and start off right. One of the things that will change someone that's not a morning person into being more of a morning person, maybe a morning yoga person, is because when you go to a yoga class, it's very meditational, it's very spiritual, and not in the sense that you'll talk about God or a higher being, but more about yourself and the spirituality and the elevation from within. So when you're taking a yoga class, you are kind of spacing out. And that's part of what meditation is, that you're kind of releasing and you're letting go. And the style of yoga that I prefer to practice is called Raja Yoga. And that's considered what's known in the sutras and in the yoga sphere as the royal yoga. And it's a very passive gravitational yoga where it's a lot of recovery and it gets deep into fascial connective tissue and you release. So you actually don't do forceful poses. You surrender to gravity and you let the power of the earth and you let the environment and the gravitational pull relax you into the ground, relax you in different positions. So you're stretching your hips, shoulders, neck, back, all these different areas, but with actively effort of releasing, of actively consciously putting effort into doing nothing. And it sounds kind of weird, but it's not easy to do nothing. And anyone that has ever tried a yoga practice in this way will understand that it's very hard to be still a lot of times because we're always moving, because we're always connected, we're always plugged in, we're always broadcasting live on Facebook at 12 noon Eastern time every day for the Daily Swole. We're always on Instagram, you're always on Snapchat, you're always doing something. In this type of yoga, in this style, you actually don't do something, you do nothing. You take a pose, you breathe, you focus on the breath, deep full breaths, and you release, you do nothing. And this aspect of yoga is very interesting because most yogas that you'll see now is almost like it's this whole CrossFit trend, this whole high intensity trend of, push, 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 work, 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 power yoga classes, power, power, power. I mean, yoga is not supposed to be powerful. Yoga is supposed to be at its core, at its base, at its origin. It's supposed to be relaxing, peaceful, the breath, and more of a release, more of a surrender rather than an activity, more than a workout. But people want to sell memberships, they want to sell class packages, and they want to give people what they want because people will buy what they want. Who cares about the chakras? You'll sell shirts outside in your lobby that says, namaste, bitches, but really, that's not really yoga. That's just kind of marketing based on what's popular now, funny t-shirts and funny phrasings, and okay, we'll make the class hard, we'll beat people up because we want people to feel wiped out, and if they feel worked out, they'll come back because they got to work out and they feel spent. When you take a good yoga class, a quality yoga class, you don't feel necessarily wiped out and exhausted. You feel enlightened, you almost feel high, you feel a little drunk, you feel a little tipsy because you're releasing a lot of toxins out of the organs into the bloodstream. You're releasing a lot out of the body. You are releasing a lot emotionally. You're releasing a lot of tension that's stored in your muscles and your joints that you don't notice and you don't recognize when you're not practicing yoga. So that release is very important. And that release is something that you don't get in many of the power, higher intensity yoga classes. So any of you that have access to a yoga studio or a quality yoga studio, you can always ask them, do you have any yin yoga or Raja yoga style classes? And you can even look this up online because those styles of yoga are popular, they are out there, and they allow you to hold poses for 3, 4, 5 minutes plus. And they're gravitational-based poses where you release into the postures. But, of course, you have to warm up the joints, and they're usually done in a hot room because the heat helps relax the fascial tissue and relax all those connective tissues that produce a lot of tension around the joints and intermuscularly, and also it encapsulates the organs and pretty much every tissue in the body. So the fascial tissue is a complete system that interwebs between muscle fibers, around muscles, around organs, everything systemically, and it holds a lot of tension. And I'm not saying your body has a mind and your body holds memories and holds feelings and emotions, but in a sense it does, because when you have these emotions, you relay and you translate these tensions from an emotion, from a feeling, internalize and you physicalize these emotions and these tensions, and it creates knots and people, oh, my neck hurts, I'm so stressed. Well, yoga really relaxes and cures and balances a lot of these things. And if you're interested in practicing yoga and you haven't done morning classes yet, I would really recommend trying a yoga class in the morning if you haven't yet. Even if you have to go out of your way to set it up and to organize it just for once, even if it's not going to be a regular thing, because starting your day with that is such a great mindset that you can carry throughout the rest of your day. And it's hard to carry that meditation, that moving meditation, that active meditation for multiple days at a time. But something that you can do in the morning, like a yoga class, that can reset the breath, regulate your breath, and give you a type of peace and a calming or how about a sense of calm that you can carry throughout the rest of your day? Because yoga does pace the breath. Yoga paces the breath, and it allows for you and it teaches you to breathe through the difficulties of postures, to breathe through the resistance. When you do these gravitational postures, you will feel resistance. You'll feel pain or tightness, or you'll feel the joint kind of quivering, and you'll feel stiff and you'll feel uncomfortable, but the breath releases. And when you focus on the breath, you can breathe through the difficulties. Think about that. Breathing through the difficulties. What difficulties do you normally feel in life? Traffic, stress with family, friends, employees, colleagues. You'll feel these stresses. And if you can breathe through the stresses of yoga, it'll help create a lot more balance during your day for any other practice or any other activity. It's a useful skill. It makes a lot of sense, and it makes even more sense when you start practicing it yourself, when you actually try it. Once you do it and once you experience it, then is when it really makes the most sense. So right now, if you've never done yoga and you don't really know what I'm talking about, you might be like, all right, that sounds kind of spiritual, foofy, namaste and all this. Well, yeah, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's just the way it is. You don't know what I'm talking about because you haven't done it. So I encourage you, and it's okay. It's okay. I know people that never done yoga before, but then they do it and you realize like, wow, I didn't know what this was. I had no idea. I have a lot of people, and I know I can't read all the comments right now, but I know a lot of people in my premium exclusive membership group here on Facebook, the Premium Club. I know that a lot of them have tried yoga since finding Swolenormous and since signing up for premium. And I see a lot of comments in the group that, wow, yoga changed my life. This is great. I feel tight, this, that, and the other. And then I do yoga for a couple of days and I feel amazing. My lifts have gone. My strength has improved. Everything feels great. It makes a huge difference. And there's different types of yoga. There's different types of yoga and there's different instructors. So my recommendation, when you're trying a yoga class or you're trying to get into yoga, don't go necessarily, you can, but I wouldn't recommend going to your local gym and taking just a regular class. I would find a yoga studio that actually practices and has well-trained instructors and well-qualified instructors that can lead you through a practice. But I would encourage you a couple things: to try different styles of yoga, try different instructors, and you could try different studios too, because yoga is very much about the instructor and about your connection with the class and the environment. You go to one place, you might not like the energy in one studio, you might just feel, maybe a little collision, or you don't feel like the vibration, so to speak, like the harmony between you and the instructor. It's hard to relax. It's like a friendship. It's, sometimes you just don't like someone's voice, or someone just kind of, you just can't relax into the class. The flow is different. Everyone's different. And with yoga, just as much as any other group exercise class, or you'll find a therapist or like a masseuse that you really like, you only want to go to that one person, or you go to a dentist that you like, you only like that one person. You all have those things, or that hair person, the person that does your nails. You go to that one person only, you refuse to go to anyone else. It's like that with yoga. You'll mesh with someone. So don't make all your judgments off one person or one class or one location. Try different things. Open your mind up, give it a couple months, try different things, and see what works best for you. Because I guarantee you'll find something that you like, and I guarantee you'll make a huge, huge difference in your life. I promise you, I would not be blowing yoga smoke up your ass every other day, and I wouldn't talk about it all the time if it wasn't the world to me, and it will be to you. It makes a big difference. If you want to get bigger, if you want to get leaner, if you want to change your life, like I always talked about, if you want to get involved with fitness and make fitness a huge part of your life. I always talk about life. I'm putting a lot of things together behind the scenes that is going to help a lot of you not just get fitness, not just lose 5 pounds or lose 10 pounds or build 5 pounds of muscle or gain 10 pounds of muscle. I always talk about fitness for life. You're getting in shape. You're starting your fitness for life. You're not doing it for the short term. It's not a sprint. It's not a marathon. It's life. And yoga will ensure that you will be able to carry on fitness and health for the rest of your life. I promise you. I guarantee it. And don't make me say I told you so. Try it. Post up. Let me know what you think. Ask me if you have any questions. And if you are not a member of Swolenormous Premium and you want to get more involved with Swolenormous, you want to take a little bit more control of your life and find some accountability in a group of people that are really getting into yoga, my Premium peeps that are in here right now, throw some thumbs up right now if you're in Premium and you just started doing yoga and you love it. I want to see some thumbs floating right now. We're going to see a bunch of likes and thumbs floating. Those of you that are in Premium that do yoga. If you're in Premium, you do yoga, float some likes, float some thumbs. We'll start getting some. There you go. Float them. Give me a lot. The more you like yoga, the more thumbs I should see. There we go. Made me nervous, guys, for a second. I'm like, come on, where my heart's at? Where my heart peeps at? There you go. If you're in Premium, you know how important yoga is, and I always talk about it. I know those of you that are in Premium do appreciate yoga. I've gotten a lot of messages privately and in the group in the discussion section of the forum from people that have started doing yoga since they found Swolenormous and since they found the podcast and started changing their way of thinking about fitness. And especially for a lot of guys, we don't do yoga. I didn't do it for years. I was into bodybuilding. But I'm telling you, it saved my life in more ways than just physical, because I would be getting, even now, you're wearing down your body. You'll get tendonitis. You'll break yourself down. It's like a car. You can take the best care of it. You still got to change the oil, rotate the tires, change this, and blah, blah, blah. You still got to fix things. And your body is no different. You still got to care for it. You can't just beat it up in the gym all the time. You're not building in the gym. You're hurting it. You got to recover. You got to heal it. You got to eat right, sleep, drink. You got to do things properly. And yoga is one of the best ways to massage your mind, your body, and heal. You cut out on me, didn't you? Yeah, you did. You shitty fucking camera. I'm here talking about yoga, and this thing cut off right in the middle of me telling you how important yoga is. Now you listen to me. If you're not doing yoga, and moreover, if you're not part of Swolenormous Premium, you best be rectifying that shit ASAP. Now I can't even focus on my fucking face. And now I'm really getting pissed off. See what happens when you don't do enough yoga? You get cranky.